I'm Kevin, and I'm one Pinoy.
I'm Levi, and I'm half Pinoy.
And
together, we're the 1.5 Pinoy cast.
All right, so today we have an anonymous listener write-in from an employee at the Pine Valley Medical Center. They have a situation on their hands that they would like some help with. This person is also a part of upper management, and here's their situation. After they surveyed the nurses at this medical center, it was found that 53% of them had high levels of stress with extreme fatigue and feeling out of control. Upper management got together and came up with some short-term strategies to try and help ease the burden of their staff. Keep work hours reasonable, allow nurses to have a full 30-minute lunch break with several other 15-minute breaks throughout the day, be realistic when assigning tasks, and create a supportive work culture. Many supervisors at the hospital believe that when people come to work, some cannot leave their personal feelings at the door, that some folks need help to understand the consequences of the way that they act and the adverse effect it has on coworkers and patients. And these supervisors look to accentuate the positive and hated dealing with challenges for bad acts. Marty, who's an employee of the medical center, posted the following to Facebook.
I'm drowning here, the emergency room at the hospital. I hate their guts. The supervisors, doctors, nurses, and techs are the devils from hell.
Another employee at the medical center saw Marty's post and reported it to the HR department. When questioned, Marty claimed that a friend of his had accessed his Facebook account and written the post. This friend, who's not an employee of the hospital, was also questioned. At first, the friend stated that they had written the post, but when reminded about the possible charge of perjury, they admitted that Marty had instructed them to claim responsibility for the post so that Marty would not lose his job. Later, Marty told his supervisor, the director of HR, and the administrative executive VP that he was merely venting his frustrations after several hard days at work. He had deleted the post shortly after, and that the post was only intended to be seen by his online friends and not hospital patients, staff, or the general public. Marty was then suspended for 2 days without pay while the incident was further investigated, and that Marty would be informed of his future at the hospital upon his return. So Marty really messed up here, and then he doubled down by lying and trying to pass the blame onto someone else. Any thoughts about how others involved with the hospital might feel about the post if they knew about it?
See, this affects a lot of people. First, if a coworker had such a negative outlook about me and made it public, it's very hurtful and demeaning. As a patient, knowing that the people in charge of me in the ER are problematic, I'd be losing faith in them and worry about my well-being. Mm-hmm. And as managers and stakeholders, the negative impression reflects poorly on the institution and how things are run, which can affect the business and its profits.
Yeah, I mean, how would you feel if you're in your most vulnerable state, you're at the emergency room in a hospital, and you can see this kind of attitude going around?
Exactly. Like, if I need emergency care and y'all are bickering in the back, that's not a good sign. With all of the fuss Marty is causing, does it matter if it's dealt with quickly?
The problems with Marty should definitely be dealt with swiftly. We wouldn't want other disgruntled employees to come together and develop a negative mob mentality and have it spread to the other workers. And employee morale could plummet if they know that their coworker Marty thinks so badly of them. And all of this negativity floating around could create a hostile work environment for other employees or even Marty himself if everyone decides to gang up on him.
Exactly. Marty really did a really bad thing here. And he's making it so that it's going to be everyone against him at this point.
Mm-hmm. Any suggestions on how management should handle Marty's case?
Yeah. So they have to conduct a proper investigation of the incident. Yes, Marty should 100% be suspended for the grave misconduct and lying about the situation. But there could also be truth behind Marty's rant, which should be investigated. And based on the results of the investigation, I personally would either escalate it to firing Marty.
Yeah, I definitely think that, he didn't develop these feelings out of nowhere. It's not like he woke up one day and was like, God, this place sucks. I'm sure things built up over time.
Exactly. Like, if there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Right.
So is there anything that management can do to increase the trust and team bonds among their employees?
Well, management can try being more empathetic to their workers under them and talk with them about the issues they think management could help with. Things tend to look really different from above than they do on the actual working floor. And management can also set aside time for team building and effective communication exercises so that way everyone knows how to get along a little better.
Exactly. And you said a really nice thing, which was management can be more empathetic. Most of the time, management is like disconnected from their employees. Like they feel like, oh, I'm at a higher station. Y'all should handle that yourselves.
Or like they try and implement changes that don't really help anything. They make things a little more complicated and harder, if anything.
Exactly.
And situations like these can be taken to court. What are some things as a manager that they should remember when handling cases like these, say if the worst scenario does happen and it is taken to court?
See, as a manager, one should always be aware that there are always legal implications. No matter how black and white a case may look, a manager has to be fair and give equal opportunities to all parties involved to defend themselves. Managers should also follow proper steps when resolving cases, such as documentation, consent from parties involved, and anything else. Because all of this can lead up into the courtroom, and you would want evidence of everything that happened. You don't want to be he said, she said type of situation, right?
Right. And like even if they were in the wrong, if you didn't document it well, they could possibly have a case for discrimination if you didn't well document that, and it can come off like it is discriminatory.
Exactly. You have to cover all your bases.
Well, anything else you can think of for this situation?
Well, you got to be careful on what you post online. Remember, if it's on the internet, it's there forever. Yeah. All right. So I guess like Olympia, let's wrap this up.